All right, we're back in Silent Hill. Gotten much further in the game. Thought we would talk about it, show it off a little bit, and of course, mention the stutter. Has the stutter gotten better as we've played a little bit longer? Gotten a little bit further into the game? Well, I'd like to say so, but unfortunately, no. The stutter, I think, has gotten worse. In those early parts of the game that I showed in the first video, I had just gotten the game. And, yeah, I hadn't played it for that long, obviously. But I figured it was pretty representative. There were some pretty big, sprawling areas there. But honestly, the stutters that I had seen up to that point were pretty minor compared to, as you just saw, some of the ones here now. Yeah, there's some parts in this town where really big stutters happen pretty much consistently, which is partially why we know that they're traversal stutters and not shader compilation stutters, because a lot of games have shader compilation stutters where the game will stutter a little bit the first time you come up to a new area. But if you leave that area and come back to that area, the stutters will be gone. Well, here it's like certain areas will always stutter no matter how many times you've come to them or come back and gone back to them. So yeah, it is traversal stutter, not shader compilation stutter. And DF Retro did a video that I since watched on that, and they said the same thing. It's not shader compilation stutter, it is traversal stutter. But they didn't quite make the stutter out to be as big of a deal as it is. Maybe they didn't get that far in the game either, because like I said, if it was just the kind of stuttering we saw in my first video, like I said, that's not a big deal. But yeah, some of the stutters here can get pretty big. And they're not always when you're in big outdoor areas either. I mean, sometimes you can be inside the apartments and get big stutters. A lot of times it is when you're in an apartment like this and the apartment leads outside. And so when you come outside, you kind of expect, okay, well, here we go, because it's got to load up a big area. So sometimes just getting close to a door or a window, you can kind of feel it's about to stutter. Here at this point, there's a point where we come outside. Yeah, in a little bit, you'll see there's one of the bigger stutters coming up. Oh, after this jump scare. Was that in the original game? I don't remember. I beat this once on PS2. And there it is. There's the big stutter. But yeah, I beat this once on PS2. I don't remember a lot of the details. Like, I remember going through the apartment. And, I remember the bowling alley. But, like, I really don't remember a lot of the details. So, things like that door that had no stairwell, I don't remember if that was in the PS2 one or not. I do believe they've added some to this. It's not like a direct copy, but from what I understand, about 95% of what's in the PS2 version is in this one. It's a very, very, very small amount if they've changed something and it's not in this one and it was in the PS2 version. But on the flip side, they've added stuff to this one, so there's a fair bit of stuff, from what I understand, that's in this one that's not in the PS2 one. So maybe some areas are a little bit bigger. Again, I don't really remember. A little bit of a stutter there. You can smash windows. Looking for... Now, I think at this point I had realized you could smash windows in cabinets. Like if you're in a building or whatever and you see a glass display cabinet and you see something in it you want, you can smash it. But For some reason, I hadn't thought of looking in the car windows. I think I opened a trunk in a car once, and there was something in the trunk, or the door was partly open or something. So, yeah, I think this is the first time I actually smashed a window open of a car to get something like this. There's another issue with the game. Sometimes when you need to interact with something or grab something, you've got to be in the exact right spot, like almost down to the freaking pixel. It's it's a little annoying sometimes. You're like, yeah, am I not supposed to be able to click on this? And then you move a little bit, and you still can't click on it. And you're right in front of it, but you got it. There's some things in this game where you just got to be in the absolute dead most pixel perfect right spot to interact with something that you're standing right in front of. A little bit annoying. Again, like this part with the record store and finding the broken record, and I'm sure that was in the PS2 version, but I just don't remember it at all. And I remember in the PS2 version, now maybe I'm way off. I seem to remember getting to the bowling alley part pretty soon. Like, pretty early on in the game. And that hasn't happened yet. And I'm like 6 hours into the game now at this point. So again, oh, there's a big stutter coming up. Yeah. Yeah, there's a big one. Again, it sucks. And it's worse than I initially thought. I'm going to say it's not a deal breaker. I really hope they fix it. You know, there's some people speculating that they're going to have a patch. And I hope they do. I mean, this developer did a pretty good job. And they've got a big, like, sort of new IP game coming out. I don't know when. They've got a game that kind of looks like Dead Space coming out. And so, like, if they want that game to sell well, I don't know, maybe they have to show that they're not just going to put out a PC game with stutter this bad and then not fix it. I mean, I really hope they can fix it. I'm not an expert on this kind of thing. You know, I know The Last of Us Part 1, when it came out on PC, it was pretty rough too. And I mean, it got a few patches and it's a fair bit better. I don't think it's perfect, but it's a fair bit better than how it launched. So yeah, I don't know. I got the flashlight finally. Yeah, I don't remember it taking that long to get the flashlight, but again, I'm not like that far into the game. I went through one small apartment complex already before getting to this one. Again, I don't remember that in the PS2 version. I remember this being the first apartment building you ever get into. But I don't know. I just don't remember. It was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Probably like 4 years ago. It was the first time I played it and beat it. So, yeah. It wasn't that long ago, but I don't remember a lot of parts. I do remember the swimming pool part, so I can tell you that hasn't changed. Have other parts of this apartment building, is it bigger? I doubt it. It's not like it's huge. It's 3 floors and yeah, I don't think it's any different or bigger. It's just, again, I don't remember I don't remember this game that well, which is great. I'm loving it. This game is awesome. And I remember, so one thing I do remember about the PS2 version was like the apartment part dragging on, I guess. Like I kind of wanted it to end. And I got through it here. I have beat Pyramid Head and I've gotten a little bit further. Was the apartment like part here didn't seem as bad, and I don't know if it's because like on the PS2 version, did a lot of the apartment buildings and the hallways kind of just look the same and you could never tell where you were. But I think it's like it's so much more detailed, and the different rooms look different. That I don't know. I didn't feel that this time. There's a sneak peek at Pyramid Head, but I won't show you too much. I've had the pistol for a while, but I rarely use it, so I'll use it here just to show you. Get a nice headshot on this guy. These ones explode if you're right beside them and they die. And obviously that stuff hurts you, so... Yeah, one of these... I don't even know what this is, man. It's so weird shit. But that's Silent Hill for you. But yeah, I've had a couple jump scares with those things where you don't expect them to be around the corner. Map's nice and easy to check. I always forget that it's up. And then to use your health is like... Well, I'm on an Xbox controller, so it's Y. One weird thing with this game can show you the button. Like if you're using an Xbox controller, it'll show you the buttons for Xbox controllers on screen. But you can also use a PlayStation controller, and it will show you the PlayStation buttons. And it also has the option for, I think it's like the Switch style controllers, where you have like ZL and ZR. And for me, 9 times out of 10, in fact, every time except once, I think, that I played this game, like it detected I was using an Xbox controller, so the buttons were showing the Xbox controller buttons. But one time I was playing the game, it was showing the PlayStation style controller buttons, even though I was using an Xbox controller. You can go into the options and change that at any time. It's just weird. It didn't detect it right one time. Cool spot here with the mirror. Again, I don't remember if this was in the PS2, but if it was, that'd be super impressive. Because I don't know how they're doing this reflection. I don't think this is a ray tracing, the Lumen, software Lumen RT reflection. I think there's something else going on in this room where it's just one room and they could pull this off. But did the PS2 version do that? I don't know. Hard to believe, but maybe it did. Another really cool reflection thing that caught my eye. Check this out. You can see the reflection of her on the wall, and the sign gets reflected on the wall, and then that double reflection gets reflected on the other side of the wall. That was pretty cool. There's a big stutter there for you. So, again, a lot of the really big ones are when you're outdoors at certain areas, but I don't want to make it sound like they're only when you're outdoors. There are some parts when you're in like the apartment buildings that there's some stutter, but not as often, I guess. And yeah, I don't know. Again, there may be usually when you're near like a window or a door that like kind of leads outside. There's a lot of the balconies on the apartment part.
What's that supposed to mean?
But like, yeah, I mean,
Like I said, 3 years is a long
the game is certainly playable. It is at a point where it's definitely worth complaining about, and like I said, I really hope they come out with a patch. But I'm not gonna wait for the patch. I still want to play the game now. I know some people are waiting. Honestly, some people are waiting to buy the game because they're waiting for it to go on sale. And realistically, that's what I normally do. I don't usually buy games when they first come out and they're at full price, especially this one at $94 Canadian. But again, I just really wanted this game, like, now. So, yeah, I usually wait for games to go on sale, and by the time that happens, that they've been patched if they had any issues. Again, I really hope this does get patched, but I can't say for sure that it's going to. So, geez, I don't know. I kind of have to assume it's going to, but is it going to ever be perfect? Who knows? Probably not. They might be able to get rid of some of the stutter or make it less obvious. Some of the stutters are really like there you go. You know, I don't know. Most of them are like kind of like a half a second thing, and again, it's when you get to a certain area, and it will always happen when you come back to that certain area, crossing over a certain intersection or something like that. So, yeah, it kind of sucks, but it's playable, I guess. Like, you know, it's still running fine most of the time. But, yeah, it sucks. There's a guy in my other video that commented he's got like a Core i9. Sorry, he had a Ryzen 7 7800X3D, which is basically the fastest gaming chip on the planet. And I think he had an RTX 4090. I mean, he basically has the fastest gaming PC that you can possibly build. And he was saying the stutter was too much, that it killed the immersion for him, and he's gonna wait for a patch. So yeah, that sucks. If you got a computer way more powerful than mine, you know, I don't know if his stutter is like similar to mine. If he's watching this video, comment on that. Is your stutter similar to mine? Is it better? Is it worse? Again, for me, I'm going to keep trucking on. I'm already this far into the game. Anyways, guys, I think that's it. I'm going to keep playing this game. It's super fun. I'm really loving it, especially now that I got out of the apartment and I'm back out in the open world. I'm loving it. But yeah, I really hope they patch this and get it at least marginally improved. It probably won't be perfect, but I would love to see them get rid of most of these big stutters if they can. See you guys later.